The primary purpose of a program like DocuSign is identified in the name of the program, sign. The primary purpose is to get a signature or initial on a document from a client. While the program is capable of more, this is the primary focus, and that's what I'm going to focus on here. In this scenario, I have a document that I prepared for a client that I need to send out to get their initials on certain pages, identifying that they're aware of what's on those pages and in agreement with the data that's on those pages. And then I need to get a signature. So we'll see areas marked for client initials, and then at the very end we'll see the location for the client's signature, name, and additional details. We'll come into DocuSign, into the DocuSign console, and I'll do my login. What I then want to do is load a new document in. Basically, I want to take the PDF file that I have and load it in. Now, there are several different ways to get pieces of information into DocuSign depending on the scenario in which I'm working. For example, in real estate, if I'm using the program Zip Forms, data can be moved from Zip Forms directly into DocuSign by a click of a button inside of Zip Forms. The overall process is the same once the document is here. The difference is that because I'm doing this manually, I have to load the file in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new envelope. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my document. So I find the PDF file I want, I load it, and if I had multiple documents to get signatures on, I could load those in as well. I have just the one, so I'll go ahead and begin plugging in the information. My first recipient will be the signer. Okay, and I'll key in the email address and the name. If I had this client in my database, it would be in my list. I can also have this added automatically. So once I enter this email address and name, it can automatically be added to my address book. If I want to add multiple recipients to this document, I'll click New Recipient. And for example, I'll do a carbon copy. I have another individual that needs to receive a carbon copy of this document. Once I've added all of my recipients, I'll click Next. I'll add in a subject for the email. And then a note telling them to initial and sign where indicated. I'll adjust the zoom so I can see my entire document. And what I'll do is I'll begin adding in the locations for the initials. Now, you can go through this, simply send the document to the client and they can click where they want to initial. Or I can ensure that I get the initials and signatures needed, and on the right hand side I can drag the initial or the signature blocks over from the default list. Now the name highlighted at the top is the one who is going to be requested in a case of multiple signatures. Since I only have one signer, it's only going to be John Smith as the option. If I had multiples, the one I click on is the one that defaults to that particular initial or signature block. To the right of the block, there's a properties. If I click on that, I could change the signer again in a case where I have multiple signers. So I could have one signer initial one block and another one initial another block as needed. I'll continue adding in my initials until all have been added, and then I'll identify my signature location. Now, the initials and signatures can be added anywhere in a document. So if a simple change were made to a document and I needed to identify that the client saw the change and acknowledge it, I could drag and drop those over. In my case, I happen to have it set so that all of the blocks are predefined, as far as the locations are predefined. So once I've identified all of the locations, I can send this to my client. So the envelope will load. Everything looks good, who it's going to. I'll go ahead and send it. And then I'll return to the console. If I went to the sent items, I'll notice that the document has been sent. We're waiting on John Smith to sign. He's the next one to sign. So Paul Carlson cannot do anything until John Smith has signed. What I want to do now is I want to go look in my email. And I can see the document. This is what the client will see. I'm going to tell it to review the document. Okay, agree to receive and send. Here's all the information. So the consumer disclosure, this is what tells the client, hey, by clicking I agree here, you know, we are doing electronic signature. Here's all the legal stuff that you're agreeing to. I'll tell it to agree, and that signature looks okay. I'll adopt that. As the signer, I have the ability to modify based on a predefined list. We'll accept what they have and we'll continue. So here's what the client will see. Had we not done the sticky tabs, the client would have had to go through the document, find each location to sign, and then click on the document and then tell it, go ahead and sign or initial here. Because we did the sticky tabs through the DocuSign console, I can start, I can initial there, it takes me to the next one automatically. I click on it, it takes me to the next one. Now I click to sign, there's my signature, it's automatically dated, and it's automatically filled in with my name. I can go back and review this document as the signer now, or I can go ahead and complete the signing. I have completed the signing. If I want it, I could download this document as a PDF now, print it out, save it for my records. I could email it on to another party. I could do anything with it now that it's a PDF file. I'll tell it I'm finished. And just like that, my document is signed. What I also see as being a carbon copy, if I carbon copied myself, I get the PDF file with all of the signatures in it as well. So if I wanted my own copy of this, I could CC myself, just as I've done, and receive the finished copy with all of the signatures and everything there. So that is a simple example of how to add the signatures to the DocuSign envelopes, how to add the signature locations or initial locations to your documents. DocuSign is capable of more, but that's looking at it from the basic, simplistic standpoint of I have a PDF file or a document that I need signatures on.